I didn't even know what I was looking at first. I was just driving like, why are all these white people so sleepy out here? These things.
What happens when Dave Chappelle faces the most sensitive corners of woke culture and walks away laughing? Before we break down the genius, let's dive into the chaos. Cut to a whirlwind of Chappelle's most savage moments. I looked up the definition of feminist. Turns out, I'm one. Boom. Caitlyn Jenner won Woman of the Year, her first year as a woman. Boom. They canceled J.K. Rowling, my hero. Boom. The crowd erupts, Twitter burns, and headlines scream. But Chappelle, he's still standing, laughing, pushing, mocking, surviving. So the real question is, how is this man still uncanceled when everyone else is one joke away from digital exile? That's exactly what we're about to find out. In this video, we're counting down the 10 savage moments when woke people came for Chappelle, and he humiliated them with nothing but jokes, logic, and zero apologies. And after each moment, ask yourself, was he really joking, or was there something deeper he wanted us to see? Let's begin. Moment 1. Dave Chappelle stood still, let the crowd settle, and calmly dropped a grenade. I looked up the definition of a feminist, and I fit it. That one sentence sent waves across the comedy world and into the trenches of Twitter outrage. The punchline? It wasn't even a joke. It was the truth. And that's what hurt the most. Dave didn't attack feminism. He claimed it. He called out the hypocrisy of people who scream equality but gatekeep who gets to support it. He didn't say, I hate feminists. He said, I'm one of you. And that's what made the woke crowd implode. Then he poked deeper. If you believe men and women should have equal rights, then you're a feminist too. Simple. Undeniable. But in woke culture, simplicity is the enemy. Because if Dave fits the label, then the narrative breaks. The real humiliation here wasn't the joke, it was the mirror. A mirror held up to a movement that's gotten lost in performance, purity tests, and online clout. But if Chappelle fits the label, why does the mob still come for him? We're only getting started. Moment 2. He walks out on stage, smiling, scanning the room like a lion watching prey. Then with perfect calmness, he hits them with it. I don't hate transgender people. I'm just afraid of y'all. The crowd explodes. Nervous laughter. Some wince, some roar. Others wait for the apology that never comes. And that's exactly why this moment went viral. Dave isn't making fun of people. He's exposing the fear. The fear of saying the wrong thing. The fear of getting labeled. The fear of being canceled before the joke even lands. He talks about how jokes turn into headlines, how crowds get quiet, how even laughing feels dangerous. And just when you think he's going to soften it, he fires again. They say I punch down, but how can I punch down if we're not even in the same fight? The genius? He's not mocking identity. He's mocking the rules, the ever-changing, unspoken, impossible rules of woke comedy. But this raises a question bigger than comedy. When offense becomes a weapon, how do we survive a culture built on outrage? Moment 3. In The Dreamers, Chappelle walks out and announces, I'm done making trans jokes. The crowd claps, relief, growth, maturity, but they forgot who they're watching. 2 beats later, he pivots. Now let me tell you about disabled people and how well organized the gay community is. Boom. Plot twist. That wasn't an olive branch, it was bait, and they took it. What followed was one of the most calculated setups in comedy history. He pretends to back off, and then shifts into even more explosive material. It's not just comedy, it's war. Chappelle isn't apologizing, he's testing us. What's really off limits? Who gets to decide? And why do some groups get protection while others get roasted? His joke about gay people having better logistics than Amazon wasn't an insult. It was a compliment wrapped in sarcasm. But in woke culture, sarcasm is dangerous. It's nuance, and nuance doesn't trend. Did he prove that censorship is just another costume? And the real joke is on the people trying to silence him. Moment 4. In another moment that had critics clutching pearls, Chappelle told the audience he was writing a play. It's about a black transgender woman, he said. And for a second, the crowd leaned in. Finally, they thought. Finally, Dave's turning a new leaf. But then came the twist. The play wasn't about healing, it was about white liberals. The same white liberals who weaponize identity, claim allyship, and then silence black voices the moment they make things uncomfortable. The joke hit like a freight train. It wasn't about mocking a trans person. It was about exposing the puppet masters behind the outrage. And that's the brilliance of Dave. He doesn't punch down. He punches sideways, upward, inward, wherever the hypocrisy hides. And when people scream at the punchline, they forget to look at the setup. So, was the play real? Maybe. Was the message deeper? Definitely. Because Dave's not at war with identity, he's at war with fake empathy that smells like control. Moment 5. In Sticks and Stones, Chappelle posed a question that sent woke Twitter into meltdown mode. What if LeBron James became a woman and joined the WNBA? The crowd lost it. Laughter, gasps, and then came the punchline. He'd score 840 points a game. On the surface, it sounds like a cheap joke, but under the hood, it's a direct critique of gender politics, sports equity, and biological reality, all delivered with one hypothetical. He wasn't mocking women's sports. He was mocking the discomfort we have around discussing biological differences, especially when it involves identity. It's the conversation everyone avoids. But Dave? He charges straight in. And every time someone tries to cancel him for it, they end up proving his point. Because the minute he questions the narrative, the mob screams, hate speech, even when the question is logical. Can you handle a debate or just a curated echo chamber? Moment 6. Dave took the number Me Too movement and held it up to the light, not to dismiss it, but to expose its blind spots. He brought up the Louis C.K. allegations and hit the crowd with this. If you're too scared to hang up a phone while someone's doing that, maybe you weren't in danger. Maybe you just wanted to be in showbiz. Mic, drop, the reaction, chaos. Some laughed, some gasped. Twitter melted. He wasn't mocking victims. He was mocking a system where victimhood is monetized, where people use trauma as social currency, and where power only gets questioned when it's convenient. Chappelle wasn't afraid to say what everyone else was whispering. He questioned how real accountability gets lost in hashtags and viral outrage. He even said it plainly, there's no police report, no charges, just headlines. And in woke culture, headlines are enough to destroy a life. But can they destroy the truth? Or are we just creating a justice system run by likes and shares? Moment 7. Chappelle doesn't dodge accusations. He walks straight into them. People said he was sexist, so he said, maybe I am, but only a little bit and only in a funny way. People said he was racist, and he gave them the infamous white guy voice, that nasal, awkward parody of privilege that has become one of his signatures. But that voice isn't just a joke, it's a weapon. It's how Dave exposes entitlement without saying the word. Then he hit them with one of the rawest bits in comedy history. I was in Washington Square Park. A white woman clutched her purse when she saw me. Lady, we're both in danger here. That one line said more about racism, fear, and perception than any college lecture ever could. And the punchline? He wasn't apologizing. Because Dave doesn't do apologies for being honest. In a culture where everyone's offended, who's allowed to be funny? Moment 8. The LGBTQ+ community is fair game for Chappelle, and he underscored that with the now famous alphabet people joke. He likened the community to a road trip, the G's taking charge, the L's expressing annoyance, the B's puzzled, and the T's causing delays with excessive brakes. And the questions? No one is certain about their desires. It was vicious. It was very funny. It was quintessential Chappelle. But what made it hurt was that he wasn't ridiculing identity. He was ridiculing how identity becomes a commodity, how certain letters in that alphabet receive more safeguarding than others, how certain individuals utilize it to mute others. He highlighted what others hesitated to mention, that even among marginalized groups, there exists hierarchy, politics, and internal bias. He wasn't attacking someone weaker. He was revealing the flaws in the structure. And when the community you're safeguarding begins to turn against itself, what is it that you are truly preserving? Moment 9. Then came the theory that broke the internet in half. Dave said it loud. The only reason trans issues get this much attention is because white men figured out a way to be oppressed too. Boom, boom, boom. The room didn't know whether to laugh or gasp. Some did both. Others froze in disbelief. But that's what made the joke so powerful. It wasn't just about gender. It was about power. Dave wasn't attacking trans people. He was attacking the privilege that hijacks struggle, the kind that allows someone to flip their identity and suddenly enter a new marginalized group while still enjoying the safety net of race, class, and visibility. And that's when he delivered the line that defines this entire war. There's a difference between being marginalized and pretending to be. Oof. He wasn't just making a joke. He was telling us oppression has layers, and some people are playing dress-up with real pain. So, was that joke hateful, or was it just too real for people to handle? Moment 10. Now for the grand finale, the most humiliating roast of woke culture Chappelle's ever delivered. He walked into San Francisco, the so-called progressive paradise. Then he looked around and told the world what he saw. This place is disgusting. Homeless everywhere, drug addicts, human sits on the sidewalk. Then came the kicker. I saw a homeless guy take a dump, then throw the carrot he used to wipe himself at someone's Tesla. That's not a joke. That's a diagnosis. He didn't mock poor people. He mocked a city that claims to be liberal, kind, and compassionate, but is falling apart because no one wants to admit that woke solutions aren't solving real problems. Dave turned San Francisco into a symbol of performative politics, fake empathy, and rot hidden behind rainbow flags. And when the carrot hit the Tesla, that wasn't just gross, it was symbolic. It was a gut punch to the elite who talk about justice while sipping matcha in million-dollar condos. Is Chappelle really trying to offend people, or is he just describing the madness we all refuse to see? So, what is Dave Chappelle? A villain? A genius? A threat to progress? Or the last honest comedian in a world where everyone's walking on eggshells? Is he dangerous, or just saying what we're all thinking but too scared to admit? Drop your thoughts below. And one more thing. Next time someone tells you a joke went too far, ask yourself, did the joke go too far? Or did it just go too deep? Like and subscribe for more uncancelable truth bombs. And don't forget to light up that comment section. This debate is far from over. Thanks for watching.